Councilman Caleb Collier says that this proposal is meant to protect their Second Amendment rights.
I'm proposing that the city of Spokane Valley issue a proclamation stating that our city is a Second Amendment sanctuary city.
Welcome to the fire.
Today on Church and State, 58% uptick in Camp Hope, or crime at Camp Hope. Who could have predicted that?
And a new level of genius. Greg Abbott is sending illegal immigrants to, you guessed it, Washington, D.C.
Plus, Sean Penn to fight the Russians. Hello, Christian Patriots, and welcome to Church and State, where we strive to plug you into the pew and plug you into politics. And I'm your host, Caleb Collier, and with me, as always, Pastor Gabe Blumgren.
And a special thank you to our man, Travis, for that awesome intro. That is our first unveiling.
Yeah, this is pretty good. No, you're not on the wrong show. We have changed the intro here, and it looks fantastic. For those of you on radio, you have got to go over to our website, churchandstate.media. You've got to go over to our Facebook page at Church and State 1776 and watch this intro because it is fantastic. Travis, hats off to you on that one.
Yeah, and also, if you haven't checked out our Rumble, you can search Church and State at Rumble. Also, look up Church and State Christian political talk show. You can even just type in Church and State at YouTube. Help us out, subscribe. We're getting closer and closer to that 1,000. Like, we don't work hard at this, and people just subscribe here and there. But if you hit 1,000 people, as far as subscriptions on YouTube, we begin to get monetized. So I really want to encourage those of you, help us out. We have not been kicked off of like some platforms. Ironically, we say some of the craziest stuff, but we still have the availability on YouTube right now, and also getting a huge amount of influence on Rumble. So help us out.
Yeah, please do. Travis, go ahead.
One day I was sitting in here, and Pastor Gabe, as you know, he's a pastor, and he calls a lot of the congregations just to see how they were doing. Someone had told him that their daughter or something she was an athlete, had taken the vaccine, and what, did she die, Gabe? Was that right? Or
so what had happened is she was a very athletic mom in her mid-30s, 35, super avid outdoors woman, hiker, and her husband and son noticed after the vaccination she was not feeling well, and then she ended up dying. So severe clotting. This is a completely healthy woman. So
yeah, absolutely tragic. And the reason I bring that up is because afterward, Gabe looks at me, and it's I don't know if he was tearing up or that was the impression I got. And he goes, "Travis, this is why we do what we do on Church and State." And so, as you can see, we are rebranding, right? We're trying to take it to the next level here, and it's because we believe that what we're doing actually makes a difference. So,
yeah, it does.
So join us.
Truth matters. That's the reality. Is that Gabe? You said we say some of the craziest things. Well, in times of universal deceit, and I'm kind of quoting George Orwell here. The acts of truth are radical, right? And so it's not crazy. The truth may sound crazy to you, but that's because you haven't turned your television off yet. So find alternative sources of media like Church and State, and get just engrossed in the truth. Because what we do on the show, it's not just truth from the liberty aspect; it's the universal truth of the salvation of Jesus Christ, and that's the most important thing that we do on the show.
Huge, yeah. That's the main propensity that drives us, is getting a combination. Man, these two subjects should be oil and water. One of our good friends, Clay Clark, said he would never ever combine or talk about politics or religion. And that's pretty much all he talks about now. And I'm so glad he made the dive. We made the dive a long time ago. Now it's time for the rest of the Pacific Northwest. We feel a call for this area. Everybody has a different name for it. There's names like Redoubt. We call it home. This is home.
Yeah.
And good luck pushing us out, New World Order.
Yeah. So, I mean, you said oil and water. Those two don't mix. So what we've done is we've taken it and we've made it into bacon and eggs, which go together so well, and gives me a fantastic transition into this diet I'm on, Gabe. I'm in love with this diet. So my wife...
We're going to periodically check in with your immune system and the biology. I'm excited to see after 29 days if you're still, 30 days. Are you on 30 days?
30 days.
So I want to see if you're still as fervently excited about this diet. So go ahead and tell everyone
All right. So
what your plan is.
I'm currently on what's called the carnivore diet. Now, I chose this one for a very specific reason. The reason why I chose this diet is because if I'm going to be on a diet, I'm going to pick one that angers the left.
Liberals.
I got to trigger liberals, right? I mean, this drives me, right? I got to trigger the left. And so on the carnivore diet, if it doesn't come from an animal, I'm not eating it. And people are like, I'm getting a lot of shade thrown in my direction. Even Travis came in here. He's like, are you serious?
Any fiber?
No fiber. No, I'm eating meat and cheese and butter and lard. Lard tastes great.
You're not eating lard.
I'll eat lard.
You're full of it.
I'll eat a spoonful on the show.
I just want to see, he's going to get scurvy, Travis, is what's going to happen. So his skin is going to start turning yellow.
I feel great. I'm on my 4th day of it.
The whites of his eyes will be yellow.
No, I feel fantastic.
So are you eating eggs?
Yeah.
So I kind of don't feel like
from
that's
an animal.
fair. I don't feel that's
Why
giving
wouldn't
you
it?
too many.
It's
A full carnivore diet to me, Travis, this is just me, is all meat. All forms of meat. No eggs, no cheeses. If you're going to full send this thing, I really want to see how much you love meat after 30 days of just meat.
So there was an individual who ate nothing but bacon for 30 days.
Right.
And he went to a doctor prior to the diet and then right after. And you know what? After 30 days of eating nothing but bacon, he'd lost weight. His cholesterol had gone down.
But he hated bacon.
He did hate bacon by the end of it, which is tragic. Yes.
So no, okay, we're going to check in on you even if you're just doing cheese and eggs, whatever. I don't think that's too rough of a diet in my opinion, but I'll still be interested if you like beef and all the meat. So
all right. Hey, let's talk about Sean Penn because there's nothing I like more than talking about leftist actors, right? You know what I will say though, Gabe? If he actually does this, I'll applaud it because he'd actually be putting his money where his mouth is, right?
So this is what he's saying. Sean Penn says he's thinking about taking up arms against Russia.
Do it.
To help Ukraine.
Do it. All of America wants you to do this, Sean Penn. He looks like he's been in war. Look at him. He looks all disheveled over there.
Tell everyone my response to this. Because I was just giddy at the thought of this.
No. I'm not going to steal your thunder. You had the best line out of this entire article.
I just envisioned myself. I literally said I would love to go join the Russian army just to kill Sean Penn.
And now we're
That's
off the
horrible.
air because
Yeah,
Gabe has just issued a
the
death
least
threat.
Christ-like thing I've ever said, but whatever. I was completely joking. But seriously,
But yeah, this is what this actor.
I can envision myself joining the Russian army.
Do you even like a Sean Penn movie? Like his movies.
Classic one is Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
But that was before he became. Well, I mean, he played an idiot in the show, and I guess he's never
still an
really.
idiot.
Yeah, he's never really evolved beyond that. But every single Sean Penn movie that I can think of, honestly, he's got such an agenda that you can't even watch it. You can't even stomach it. Now, remember, this is Sean Penn who has gone over to Venezuela, to Cuba,
Huge
and met
friends
with the
with
dictators.
communists.
He is an absolute communist. So,
Yeah.
Sean Penn, you're going to the wrong side. I thought you liked communists.
right.
You're
I don't
going and
know.
meeting with all these Latin
I'm
American
super
communists.
confused.
Why aren't you going over to Russia? Aren't those your people? I
Yeah.
thought they were.
He likes to hang out with like El Chapo type individuals who are just the seediest folks. He, like you said, has gone to communist dictators, befriended them, and these are absolute horrific people. So it makes me sketched out that he's like fighting so hard for President Zelensky to get airtime during the Oscars, I believe. I would love for him to see the front lines, not just join the military. Get into the front lines, Sean. Please do me a favor. Get into a Russian tank and go through one of these things that I saw in Ukraine called a hedgehog. I'd love to see you go through there.
Right, yeah, I love his quote here. The only possible reason for me staying in Ukraine longer last time would have been for me to be holding a rifle, probably without body armor, because as a foreigner, you would want to give that body armor to one of the civilian fighters. So he's not even gonna, I mean, he's giving up his body armor as well if he goes over there. This guy's going to last a total of about a minute.
Yeah.
He's been, Hollywood, right? The Hollywood class, like these elitists, they don't want for anything. They're not hard.
What
They're
if he
not
goes
tough.
over there and gets like intentionally shot? That would bring so much attention to him. He'd be this heroic guy.
Nah, I don't know about that. I'd rather see Will Smith slap him.
Moving on
All right, let's get out of here.
to somebody even is equally toxic. Oh, no, you're not covering her? Okay.
Not yet. No. I want to go to Texas, man.
All right. This is brilliant. This is actually something that is brilliant.
Yeah, and let's just say this. I don't think you are either, but neither one of us are big fans of Greg Abbott.
No.
The guy's
governor of Texas, he goes one shade shy on the pendulum of reasoning, and then he does other things that are just like, what are you thinking?
Yeah.
But this right here, I don't know what advisor told him to do this, because a lot of these guys don't do anything on their own.
No, they don't. And you know, we were supporting Alan West in his run for governor. Unfortunately, he didn't go through the primary there, but this is a brilliant idea. So first Texas bus drops off migrants blocks from U.S. Capitol in Washington, D.C. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. In Texas, they're taking illegal immigrants, which the Biden administration is trying to just open up the borders. Well, they're taking them and they're dropping them right off at their doorstep. I applaud this idea 100%. It's just, could you think of anything better than saying, all right, look, our state doesn't want this. The federal government is making it to where it's occurring. All right, then you deal with them. You handle the problem. And they're literally, if you see the video on this, they're literally busting them in.
Yeah, the photo op shows them coming in. You can see Capitol Hill right there in the background.
But Gabe, what I love,
such a photo op.
they're busting them in. Boom, they're met by law enforcement, and they sign a few things, and they're out on the street. There you go.
Wow.
It's a phenomenal solution to federal government overreach. I love when states exercise their authority per the Constitution and actually fight back against federal government overreach.
Well, this is awesome. A lot of people are saying that this is basically some type of genuine, non-genuine plan, basically a publicity stunt. Sounds like they're calling it a gimmick, but they are there. He literally has filled up a bus, and they have 40 immigrants in there. They released them in Washington, D.C. So gimmick or not, this is what happened.
Well, I mean, it's well known among the political circles that Greg Abbott is gearing up for a race. He's running for president in 2024. Pretty much all of America understands this. All right, so yes, is he doing this? And this is typical in politics, right? The so-called right, the conservatives, I wouldn't classify Abbott as one of these, but they always get a whole lot better in their rhetoric, in their policies, right before an election. This is something that you're constantly going to see, and this is why, for the vast majority of them, we don't trust politicians, because we know this. We've seen the cycles that they engage in. So yeah, I'm not surprised at all that he's doing stuff like this. He's trying to combat DeSantis, because that's the front runner. As long as Trump doesn't get back in, DeSantis is the front runner, and DeSantis is doing some incredible things out in Florida. So Greg Abbott, I think this is probably what it is. They got some real good PR, some marketing, and they said, hey, here's an idea. It's controversial. The left's going to hate it. It's going to put you on the map. You know me, Gabe. I love the controversial. I dabble in it all the time.
Well, speaking of controversial, I'm going to change the lanes on you. I'm going to pull an audible here. Our local mayor, it's interesting, our version of a little local governor, Mayor Nadine Woodward, just recently when addressing the issue of Camp Hope, which is right there off of I-90 here in Spokane, Thor Freya, right by Fred Meyer, just on the other side of the freeway, Camp Hope, people are absolutely fed up with what's happening. People getting things stolen off their front porch. Children can't go out because alleys are full of transients and people doing all kinds of disturbing things in those alleys. This is a quote from Mayor Nadine Woodward. She said, because they're now in process right now of they've moved a lot of these individuals, but some of them aren't moving, and then some of them are coming back. They're boomeranging back to Camp Hope. She's talking about this new space that they're putting the homeless, and that's even causing issues. But Mayor says if campers don't leave, she says people need to be held accountable. She says at some point, you need to be able to tell people, listen, you can't make this decision for yourself. We're going to step in and make it for you.
Ooh,
wow.
That doesn't sound tyrannical at all.
I'm for somebody who's been kind of leaning on one or the other side of the fence, man, she's really, I don't know, I see this as this authoritative state, different than the old Mayor Nadine we're used to. I don't know what the tipping point or what has caused the camel to finally have that snap moment, but it looks as if people are pushing back. So neighbors are saying it too. There's a neighbor who's quoted as saying, "It is time to go. it is really time to go. So you and I were talking about this. What if you and I just rented a bus, gracefully invited these people on, and anybody who's ready to go to Portland, we just take them to Portland? Now,
Sure.
what are your thoughts on that?
No, I support that 100%. I'll tell you, the resources that the homeless can have in Portland versus Spokane are astronomical. So please go on over. It's a little bit warmer there. You might have to deal with some rain. That's fine. But the Portland, I mean, they want to keep it weird. Let's just throw them all in there. It's a fantastic idea, almost an escape from LA type of thing here.
And that was the second choice. If we were to really do it up good, take them to somewhere warm, LA.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, and then we can do what Lex Luthor attempted to do in, I believe it was Superman 2, where he was going to blow up the fault line along the Nevada-California border and send California off into the sea.
That is that moment when you realize
Lex Luthor's the good guy. Yeah, I mean, he really was in that movie. Superman was the bad guy in this. I think we can all, as conservatives, agree with that. Gabe, this story is interesting because they're not going to have a new homeless shelter, and it's going to be over in an industrial area of Spokane. 4320 East Trent, to be specific. Now, I went over there yesterday and actually walked around the building. It's going to be an extreme problem. And Nadine, by her own admission, the mayor of Spokane, by her own admission, said this is going to be have the least negative impact in Spokane. So by her own admission, it's going to have a negative impact.
Right.
All right. So you know what's right next to this new homeless shelter that's in the process of being built, Gabe? Just take a wild guess at what business is right next to it. Right across the street, actually.
A tire shop?
No, not at all. No, you know those coffee shops where they wear bikinis and underwear?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's right there. So just think about this for a minute, okay? Now, obviously, we don't support these coffee types of shops. We don't go to them. But think about a bunch of attractive young women wearing next to nothing right next to a homeless shelter where, I mean, let's just face it, a lot of these homeless people are sex offenders. A lot of them are. That's just the data, okay? You can hate me if you want, but that's the statistics there. So you're going to have some sex offenders literally housed right next to a bunch of girls wearing next to nothing. What could possibly go wrong with that situation?
I don't know, but I thought we were supposed to have this fixed with Catholic Charities. I thought Catholic Charities was promising that this homelessness situation in Spokane was going to be solved.
Yeah, because it's working out so well. I mean, anybody in Spokane and really across the nation, because we got a large audience here, Catholic Charities is an absolute failure. And there are some great Catholics that are openly going against what Catholic Charities is doing.
Do not be confused by the word Catholic Charities, because I know a lot of great Catholic people who do not support Catholic Charities.
Absolutely. And what are they doing? It's enabling, right? And as Christians, we need to understand this, because I know that there's going to be some flack that is directed at us.
Right.
We do care about the homeless, but it's different models. It's accountability. It's training them up in jobs so that once they get their feet under them, and there's no government involved in this either. We need to be doing this as churches and stuff. So train them up. Give them a trade. Let them learn a trade and send them out to where they can be productive members of the community again.
The Altmaier family has done for years what Catholic Charities could never do. It is through Union Gospel Mission that you've actually seen help and change and transformation. And it's when you have individuals in the shelter where you say, no, you cannot come in here if you are not clean. You have to be clean and sober. And when you are in here, there's certain things you have to do. Like one of them is go to chapel. You have to sit in there, even if you don't like it, you're not paying attention. You can sit there on your phone, but you have to come inside. You have to be clean and sober, and you have to, bathe and do things like that. You have lights out at a certain time. All of those rules are not enforced at Catholic Charities. They do not enforce those things. And the little rules that they do enforce do not produce any type of change. So, but the Altmaier family had, if only we could have somehow supported that and that kind of change. And that's the only hope.
We can as individual citizens, and I highly recommend that people do donate to the Union Gospel Mission and HRC, which does some amazing things against sex trafficking. But the point, I think the biggest point here, Gabe, is 58% uptick in crime at this area surrounding Camp Hope. I actually drove by it yesterday. I drove around it a couple of times. I don't know if you've been over there. It's disgusting.
Yeah, I have.
It's just a tent city. There's human waste all over the place, trash all over the place. And I actually stopped by in this picture. This is a tire store. And I actually stopped by there and I spoke to an individual who works there. He said the crime is significant. People breaking into it, fighting there, defecating all over the property. It's extremely problematic to these business owners, right? And how is that fair? And somebody's got to do something about this. And I'm not ready to announce yet, Gabe, so don't jump on this, but I'm going to. We're going to do something about this. We have to.
Yeah, we are praying about it. God's giving Caleb insight on this as well as myself, and I just pray God continue. In fact, right now, Heavenly Father, we just come before you. Give us correct vision on this, Lord. Lord, you know how, God, with wisdom, God, cities are changed. Lord, we just ask sincerely right now in our hearts, God, give us wisdom on how to handle this, Lord. This is big. God, this is an intentional attack on our city. Father, give us wisdom on how to defeat the enemy and to defeat those who are trying to destroy our city. In your precious name, Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah, quick point on that. So lately, here at On Fire Ministries, the young adults and the youth have been kind of just going out on their own accord, evangelizing to some of the homeless. And I was thinking, because, not all of them want to get out of that type of thing, and not all of them are receptive to certain, types of evangelism. But I was like, man, I wonder, what kind of testimony would be effective for this kind of thing. And I thought about Mike Lindell's From Crack Addict to CEO
Come on.
book. And I just wanted to use that segue.
Brilliant, Travis.
Yeah.
You know what? I was actually going there next. I was going to say something to the effect of, if that doesn't help you sleep well, I know what will. But you beat me to the punch. So, Travis, if you can get that website up on our page right now, ladies and gentlemen, we've been talking about it, but we got to get you guys actually purchasing these items. You've got a fantastic opportunity to support two great organizations. That's not what we're looking for. That's an interesting llama with a boombox. But we've got an opportunity to support Church and State and MyPillow. Okay, so you need to go over to MyPillow/Church and State. You can use the promo code Church and State. You can save up to 66% off of all of these fantastic
Any
items.
item. It's not like it's like particular items. It's not like it's limited to this. Every single item, you're saving 66%. We cannot get you that good of a discount in Fred Meyer or some local place. So many of you have already purchased items, and some of you are probably kicking yourself in the foot right now that you've already been loyal customers of Mike Lindell. But those of you, if you need any more sheets, you need any more of these items, I'm talking, he has so many, we can't even name all the stuff. There's just things that you could get right now, 66% off, and they're quality. They're made in the United States, and it's supporting a patriot.
I just want to, because I'm not sure if everyone notices the same way I do, but every single time this man is given a platform, he glorifies Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Look at this picture right here, right? I'm going to zoom in. What's he holding?
Yeah,
His
cross.
necklace that
He's
he
got a
wears
cross.
every single time he's on camera. Make sure that people see it.
It's visible.
Yeah, he's got an incredible story, and he really is living that American dream, right? From crack addict to CEO. And why wouldn't we support something like this versus going to a store where everything's made in China? The pillow's just not as comfortable. I mean, let's just face it. These slippers, I'm wearing these slippers every day. I love them. They're literally walking on clouds. And the Giza sheets, Gabe. Have you experienced these yet?
We haven't yet. We bought some, and they haven't come yet, so they're going to be coming any day.
Okay, they are so soft. It's amazing. All right. Hey, last but not least, we got to do this. We got to talk about the Biden administration.
Are we doing good on audio, Travis? I can't hear him right now in my ears. I just want to double check.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, well, I don't know why you can't hear me. I can hear myself, but
That's good.
That's more important, obviously. But anyway, the Biden administration, I mean, their gaffes are legendary, and it's not just Biden. Kamala Harris is about as smart. And you know what? Actually, I'm going to retract. I was going to say about as smart as some of the first graders we have in the school here. Those first graders are smarter than Kamala Harris. They can put together a sentence structure a whole lot better than what Kamala Harris does. But Biden, and I hope that Travis has this audio clip. Listen to what he says here. It's a short little clip. Listen to what he says to his friend here.
And Neil Smith, an old buddy. Are you here, Neil? Neil, I miss you, man.
Okay. Well, he's going to replay that, but there we go.
Here we go.
And Neil Smith, an old buddy. Are you here, Neil? Neil, I miss you, man.
Play that one more time.
And Neil Smith, an old buddy. Are you here, Neil? Neil, I miss you, man.
See, this is Church and State Reacts right here. You didn't hear that wrong.
No, he just said Neil Smith, an old, I'm slowing this down, but buddy. This is the president of the United States. This this is coming off of watching him. Those of you who have seen the video, kind of like careening behind former President Obama.
Oh yeah.
He looked like a lost puppy dog. He literally was so out of place. It was the saddest thing I literally, for the first time, I actually felt sorry for Joe Biden.
He kept like grabbing Obama by the shoulder, like, remember me? Like,
Hey, I'm
hey.
significant.
Yeah. Like,
He looked lost. Secret Service, he was bumbling around. It literally reminded me of a bowling ball on its way down a lane with the bumpers installed. This guy is so sad. And now we have clip. This is recent clip of him saying,
yeah, this is just recent. This just occurred.
an old butt buddy.
Yep.
I just want to say, you take sound clips like this, and people are like, "Oh, it was just a slip of the tongue. That's just too far fetched." But you look at the entire course of world history, and corrupt politicians and homosexuality are like a related spirit. Observe the corrupt politicians of Nazi Germany. So many of them were involved in homosexuality. It just turned the pages of history. And why would it be different now?
Yeah,
That's a good point, Travis.
These accidental gaffes, they call them accidental gaffes. They're more, just like you're saying, Travis, it's more of revealing the true nature of these individuals. So absolutely perverse. And
then we've got Kamala Harris. She was asked at a recent press conference. She was over talking to the Steelworkers Union, and they asked her about inflation.
Straight up question.
Yeah, and what I love about this as well is that she's in a mask. The reporter is in a mask. They are definitely 6 feet apart, so they're still trying to use this coronavirus garbage against us, at least projecting that. But they ask her a very, like you said, it's a straightforward question, right? She goes on this rant where she never even addresses the issue. She starts talking about the fact that she's traveled over to Europe and she's met with the French president. She starts talking about child tax credits, and it's just like you're listening to this and you're like, what are you even talking about?
She says within 30 seconds, okay? In 30 seconds, I'm just going to try to do this. As I was drawn to the significant passage of time, I realized that as I spoke to you, the significant passage of time.
That was a different clip.
No, I know, but do you realize she said that in 30 seconds?
Yes.
How she fit the phrase 4 times.
Yes, and here's the thing, probably the bigger point out of all of this, Gabe, is a lot of people are hoping and praying that Biden is removed from office. The reality is if he is, we get Kamala Harris. And that's not going to be any better for us as a country.
Which some people are theorizing this was an insurance policy to make sure that he was never impeached.
Yeah, I think you might be right on there. All right, unfortunately, we are out of time. Church and State is sponsored in part by On Fire Ministries and Understanding the Threat, vanquishing liberty's enemies and restoring the republic. And with that, Church and State is out.
God bless.